The Ministry of Statistics has reported that India's consumer inflation eased to a cooler than expected 2.82% in May, marking its lowest level since February 2019. This figure, below the central bank's 4% target for the fourth straight month, strengthens the case for further monetary easing, and food inflation significantly cooled to 0.99%. The Reserve Bank of India recently slashed its benchmark repo rate by 50 basis points to 5.50%, its third consecutive cut to bolster economic growth. Despite inflation easing, India's economy expanded a faster than expected 7.4% in March quarter. Fitch Ratings has reserved its 2025 outlook for the global oil and gas sector to deteriorating from neutral. The agency cites mounting pressure from accelerated OPEC plus output and the lingering impact of the United States tariffs on global trade. Fitch now anticipates global oil demand to rise by approximately 800,000 barrels per day this year, a downward revision. It has also trimmed its 2025 oil price assumption to $65 per barrel. Despite the downgrade, Fitch notes that geopolitical developments could still lift oil prices. Oil prices fell after sharp gains in the previous session as market participants assessed a U.S. decision to move personnel from the Middle East ahead of talks with Iran over the country's nuclear-related activity. Brent crude futures were down 1.5% at $68.75 a barrel, while United States West Texas Intermediate crude fell 1.5% to $67.10 a barrel. Both benchmarks surged more than 4% in the previous session and their highest levels since early April. Moving on to the gold prices, which scaled a one-week peak on Thursday, steered by simmering Middle East tensions and cooler U.S. economic data that fueled fresh bets on Federal Reserve rate cuts. Spot gold gains 1% to $3,887.94 an ounce, its highest level since June 5th. United States gold futures climbed nearly 2% to $3,409.10. JP Morgan has raised its year-end forecast for China's onshore yuan spot price, citing moderating risks from the United States trade war and a broader global trend of de-dollarization. The United States Investment Bank revised its dollar-yuan target to 7.15 yuan per dollar from a previous 7.30. JP Morgan also anticipates a gentle spread for the yuan, expecting it to reach 7.10 by the middle of next year. The announcement comes as the dollar remains steady against the yuan at 7.1875 in European trading, following statements from the United States and Chinese negotiators who had agreed on a framework in London to get their trade truce back on track. And in world markets, global shares showed mixed performance during Thursday's trading. The United States, the S&P 500 rose 0.31%, the Dow Jones inched up 0.02%, and Nasdaq futures increased 0.31%. In Europe, the UK FTSE 100 was up 0.28%, while France's CAC 40 dropped and dipped 0.45%, and the Germany DAX showed flat performances. In Asia, the Shanghai Composite Index inched up 0.01%. However, the Hang Seng in Hong Kong was down 1.36%, and Japan's Nikkei 225 dropped 0.65%.